be as warm and responsive as you can as I bring them out. We're going to do about 35 minutes of chat, then I'm going to open it up to some questions. So if you've got some great questions, please start thinking about now. And when I ask you to put your hand up, we'll send a house elf over with the microphone. So let's bring some people out, shall we? Let's start with Aaron. It's What's My Crime, ladies and gentlemen. You're down the end there, sir. Father Gabriel is with us. Cecilia. Tyler's here. Alana Masterson. One of our very own Jesus. Tom Payne is here. Come on, Tom. Look at that hair. It's all his own. Dwight is with us with his full face. Austin Emilio. Come on out, Dwight. Don't worry. You're not moving. He's growing. He's learning. Like we all do in life. Okay. Eugene is here. Josh McDermott. Parked his motorcycle on Shaftesbury Avenue so he can rush over here. Dowell, come on in, run with us! Let's just relax and feast our eyes for a moment, shall we? That's it, just on Daryl, just enjoy it. On everyone, it's not all about Daryl, despite what Norman says. Let's start with Greg, though. Let's start with Greg. A great episode. You directed that episode. I did. As well. So
do you guys like it? By the way, you better say yes because we're all sitting here.
But I was curious because I'm sitting there with the audience and we were laughing at various. There was kind of a lot of communal spirit going on, like you're watching a sermon. I wonder, how do you judge that for TV when you're not going to see that reaction? How do you know? Like there were two really good, solid laughs there, really lovely moments. How do you know?
Really funny. People just don't realize. No, this episode, I think it's a great episode for a lot of reasons. But the first half of the season, as you guys know, was a little heavy, a little intense, a little sad. So it was important to lighten things up a little bit. And I think this is probably the lightest. I mean, the chemistry between Rick and Michonne, in my opinion, was the best that we've seen in the series in this episode. They laughed, like you saw Denai smile. Yeah, it was kind of great.
And they were having a lovely little mini break, essentially.
They were on a honeymoon.
They were having a lovely little bit of time for themselves there. Fascinating to see Rick, initially not wanting to go back, and then you showing us the workings of his mind there. And we are all now, we're kind of girding our loins for this big climactic finish for this season. I don't know.
What does that mean?
Well, you know what it means. But are you going to give us the big finish, or is it going to be like last season where it's more of a tantric ending and we have to hold on? And
Josh, what do you think?
I mean, I've girded my loins already, and there will be a big finish coming from my girded loins.
Right now?
You've been girding your loins since Abraham left, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. You see, you're so cute. What language are you speaking?
Well, while on the subject of language, what is it about living in a scrapyard that makes people forget how to speak English? I mean, what's happened? Is that being near that much metal? What is it?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Okay, well, we like it, but it's kind of weird. Let's go right down to Ross at the end there. Ross, your character changes so much now. They were wary of him initially, perhaps rightly so. He's kind of joining the team now. What is it about playing a character when they're changing like that? Do you know in advance where you're going to be with him from the beginning, or do you play it by ear?
I don't know. In fact, the three of us were talking about this earlier today, that we all started as rather dubious characters, and I think the great thing about all three of our journeys is that they started as like kind of on the fence. We're not quite sure about them, and then as time went on, you realize that they're actually people and we can trust them. So.
Yeah. I suppose one of the joys of long-form TV, and in this show in particular, is no one's safe. I mean, we get to see the characters change that much, but we don't know who's... So when someone leaves the cast who's been there for a while, do you have a big sending off? Is it a sad moment, or are you relieved?
Was that for me? Oh, yeah.
Anybody wants to jump in?
Let's get that to Norman here, because you're like one of the longest standing right here.
Yeah, I'm one of the OGs, I guess. It sucks, actually. I mean, Andy and I were with Steven in Costa Rica when he proposed to his wife. But it's such a tight family here. When somebody leaves the show, it hurts. It sucks. I won't lie.
I guess especially if it's someone you're doing a lot of work on screen with. I mean, Josh, you with Michael Cudlitz, you had a lot of screen time together, and then when he's gone, is that weird for you not having him to bounce off of?
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, like our storylines had started to separate towards the middle of season 6, where he and I weren't necessarily working a lot, but we were talking to each other on the phone a bunch. And then when he left in season 7, we still obviously weren't working together, but we were still talking on the phone a bunch. So in a weird way, it felt like he didn't leave, you know, especially with Steven too. Like their fingerprints are all over this show. And really, speaking of what Norma said, it's a tight family. I mean, we are in town, you know, hanging out with the fans and stuff like that. We constantly see each other in every city we go to. So in a weird way, it feels like nobody's ever left.
You're sitting next to Dwight, of course. Let's say hello to Austin properly, because there was some booing when he came out there. And
Hello.
I don't think that's entirely fair.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, I guess that's your life now, is it?
Yeah, it is. A lot of middle fingers, and I hate you. How many people try to bite you in the balls? Only you. Is that? Oh, okay. I didn't know if that's like a fan rating. Like I hate you.
Well, you know,
If anybody's up for it, Austin's here.
but I get the feeling
See me after. We can talk about it. Try to figure something out.
Alana? Oh, you want to bite him in the balls? Okay. I get the feeling we're about to witness a kind of like an uneasy alliance or a friendship between your two characters on screen, because you both kind of capitulated to Negan very readily, quite completely. Is that? Can you give us some hints as to whether that's in store?
Me and Eugene being friends.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but I know right now I'm not really liking what I'm seeing. I walked up on him. I mean, I love you. I'm just saying, like, you know, I've made some pretty big sacrifices to get where I'm at under Negan, and then I walk up and I see this guy eating a pickle, shouting orders. So I'm gonna suss it out.
It's not my fault that I'm smart and figured out how to play the game.
No, it's not at all.
I mean, basically, it's interesting. These two characters are in the same boat, but they're looking in different directions, you know, and they're unlikely. They have an unlikely friendship. They have a crazy history, obviously, but that was a fun scene to shoot where, Eugene, it's like, yeah, he understands this is the guy whose dick he bit, but also, like, he's just matter of fact. Like, I don't know if you caught my name in the mayhem of me biting you. Like, it was just kind of weird. Like, he doesn't have the social cues that other people have, and I like watching Eugene interact with people that he doesn't necessarily know, just to get their reactions. And I think these two people, whether or not they become friends, I think there's some good stuff between them.
Look, I would love an alliance there. That would be great. So I hope we do become besties.
But that's the deleted scene, like in Jaws when you're sharing scars and he shows the scar of when you bit him on the.
Right. He's like, I don't have anything left, and I'm like, here it is. You can have it back.
Have a pickle.
Have a pickle.
I get the feeling that whole scene that's scarred many people working on the show. You seem to be carrying that around with you.
We had Christian. She's not here, but we had hot dogs that day. We had a Dwight dog. We had a Eugene dog. Yeah, we got a hot dog truck on set.
They made a whole day of it. It was
Yeah, they also gave me a Norman gave me like a, I don't know, it was like a weenie washer or something. It was like a soap ring that you basically stick over your thing and clean it off. And he said you can give that to Austin to make sure that he's clean for you. It was pretty disgusting, really.
We had fun with it, for sure.
I'm going to move on from this because I feel this is becoming, in America, this is called locker room talk, I believe, and we don't approve of that kind of thing over here. Alana, let me go to you. Alana, because of course Tara's lost her girlfriend and she's now wrestling with her conscience. It seems like she's on the verge of trying to get her. That must be fascinating to play that. What do you think? What's her worst fear about her telling her about Oceanside?
I think her worst fear is sort of what she was explaining to Judith. It's what makes our lives more important than theirs. And if I do tell Rick about these guns, he's not just going to walk in and say, "Hey, can we borrow your guns?" He's going to take them with force because we have to fight this war. And I had talked in length with Scott Gimple about it because I said I'm holding on to this secret since episode 6, and I want to make sure that what do I stand for if I'm keeping the secret from this group? And I made a promise to a bunch of women and children, and to just give that up right away when I got back, I think would have been the wrong thing to do. And she's definitely